Dear students, as I'm discussing with you the poem titled here as Personal Helicon for Michael Langley, written by Seamus Heaney. Seamus Heaney, you know that an Irish poet, a playwright, and a translator, received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1995. So, in today's lecture, dear students, I am going to discuss with you the theme of the poem. Dear students, it is a very powerful and profound poem as we have now studied it. Okay, dear students, you know that the poem talks about the vowels. So the poet has used the vowels as a symbol for the experiences of a poet in the making. The poet talks about the vowels. So the we hear the word vowel, or we can say vowel is used as a symbol for the experiences of a poet in the poem. Dear students, the maturing of a poet pervades the whole poem, and the theme is particularly dealt with in stanzas 2 to 4. So here we understand that the, the maturity of a poet pervades, exists in the whole poem, and theme is particularly within the stanzas of within stanzas, that is 2 to 4. So if we will study stanza 2 to 4, here we got the theme of the poem. Dear students, the first vowel represents the poet's self-discovery, as it is deep but reveals very little. Dear students, the first vowel represents the poet's self-discovery, as it is very deep but it reveals very little. As it is, the first vowel is deep but reveals very little. So the poet does not get concrete, or we can say concrete like things from the very first vowel. Got it here? Dear student, the second well represents the stage where his power to fathom, where his power to understand, where his power to comprehension has increased. The second well, dear students, represents the stage where the poet's power to understand has increased, so that well is shallow. Got it here? So that the well is shallow but teeming with life. That means not explaining the lie, not in we can say the correlating the lie. So the we can say that the second well represents the stage where the well is where the power of the poem to understand, to fathom is has increased, so that the well is shallow but teeming with life. Dear students, the third stanza talks about the well that emanates music. That is, the poet is now in the stage of productivity. The poet is now in the stage of productivity, although he still experiences some fears represented by rats in the poem. So the third stanza, it talks about the well that emanates music. We can say that the poet is now in the stage of productivity, although he still experiences some fears. Got it? Represented by rats. Okay, so here you got it. Well is here represented as a symbol in the poet's making. Dear students, having now written about and surveyed life outside, the poet has now the surveyed or written, we can say that, life outside. The poet now turns within. The poet now turns within. That is, he becomes introspective and reflective. So the poet has now turned within. He has now become introspective and reflective. Dear students, this is the profound stage. This is the peculiar stage for the poet because it lends him dignity. So, and he can set the unknown. What is unknown? Darkness. Open, or we can say echoing in poetry. So, here we can say that the poet now turns within, that is, he has now become introspective and reflective, and this is the profound stage for the poet because it lends him dignity and he can set the unknown, that means darkness, open or echoing in the poetry. So, here, feeling or realization of their feelings, of their desires, huh, to express themselves really produces a greatest work of art. Okay, dear students, I think you got here the theme of the poem. So I tried my level best to make you people understand about the theme of this poem. Okay, so thank you very much, dear students.